Hello, ladies. So I made a promise that I would go through my women's book, He Gave Me Pearls, over video blog. So that's what I'm going to do over the next, as long as it takes, I suppose. I'm not going to commit to a firm date because you never know when I get started. But the reason why we're doing this is because I've had a number of women that have actually written about the book, speaking different things to them. And I realized as I was thinking this over, I wrote this book almost 4 years ago. And so, you know, I've changed so much, and heaven forbid things probably in the book may have even changed about. I know I've gone so much deeper, and he's revealed so much more to me, and so I thought it would be a really good idea to walk through the book and say, let's expound here, or this is why I said this, or this is what that means, or maybe I feel differently, and we could just do this together, and also that you can read a chapter and then tag in with me and see what you love. So basically, I started out writing children's books, and I never saw myself as a writer. My story basically is that I was inspired, and I would do tea parties with the mothers and the grandmothers and little girls in their hats and their pearls, and I would always share my story, though. It was part of a promise. You know, I shall not die but live and spread your word 7 years ago when I was sick. And so I never missed an opportunity to share my story, even at tea parties, wherever they were. And people started saying, you should write your story. And I really struggled with this because I didn't feel like I was a writer. And I'm just going to say this straight up. I don't claim this to be the greatest work of literature. What I will say is that it is my heart. And more than anything, people have said to me, I feel your heart when I read it. And that was my purpose. So I was successful. That's all I wanted, was to share my story and for people to feel the authenticity of my heart, that it's real, I don't make it up, that it's truth, that He is love. And it's titled He Gave Me Pearls, for the very reason that I think we so often look to men for that love. We think of the man giving you the pearls. I remember my first set of pearls forever ago. I think my high school sweetheart gave them to me for graduation from high school. You know, that special moment he gives you pearls, you know. But the truth of the matter is, you know, His pearls are the pearls that will set you free. And so I wrote this kind of as the introduction to tell you my story, but for really the book to be more about the pearls that led me to transformation. And some of you may need all of the pearls, and some of you may need a few of the pearls, and some of you may need only one pearl. So what you do is you take your little strand and you just strand the pearls that you need onto it. But it's interesting, there are 12 pearls in the book. There are 12 gates. There are 12 gates of heaven, each one a pearl. I didn't do that intentionally. That was a revelation I had later. So I felt like He worked with me through this book, because I certainly don't claim to write. So anyway, what we're going to do is just walk through this at whatever pace, and I would love for you to comment. I would love for you to share what you love, what you hate. I do not even mind if you say, I really don't agree. I love that, because please challenge me, and this is something that I have learned. We can read the Word of God, and we can take things completely out of context. We can say, this is not now, this is the past, or this means this means that, and we don't know the context, and we totally misuse the Word of God. And to me, what He has done with me is He has allowed me to experience the truth. So usually when I write something, it's not because I read it and the words on the page told me this. It's usually because I've experienced those words. You know, when I talk about prayer, I've experienced that. When I talk about worship, I've experienced, you know, I will say He inhabits the praises of His people till you get sick of me saying it, because I know the truth of that verse. When you can Psalm 63 worship you will feel the fullness of the Lord, like you have had the richest affair, and I know that to be truth. And so you will hear me use that verse all the time, because I know the truth of it. So my heart is that most of the things I share are things that I don't just say because they're written. I say because I know truth in my personal life, and I dare you to do the same. You know, if you don't feel the presence of God, you seek it. You know, if you don't feel, you know, He's been faithful to the faithful, you ask for it. You be faithful and let Him show up faithful, you know. So whatever it is that you're missing, in your encounter with God or with the Word, you ask for that, because it's all about, the truth of this Word, not just to be speaking words that have no meaning. He says, my word does not return void. And so boldly proclaim it over your lives and watch what He manifests. But anyway, so we're going to start with the introduction. My story is an introduction, and one thing that I just want to share with you, because when I speak, the word I hear most often from women that liked me, I guess you should say, is I hear that you are so transparent. I love that you're transparent. I can say there was a time when I was the girl that if you said Jesus twice in front of me, my skin crawled, because let's not, that's personal, don't bring that here, And now I'm in Walmart yelling Jesus. I'm just a Fruit Loop. But there was a time when I know that uncomfort. I know, please don't lift your hands in worship, because that makes me uncomfortable, and I'm the biggest worshiper right now. But so I know the feelings, I know, and I admit that, because we have to, I think when people understand we've been there, it helps them break free too. So one of the things, I say this to say, if you read on page 11, Roman numeral 11, you will read my hurt. And I say that there were so many years of my life when I would have hid this. I would have wanted to put up the facade that I am perfect and this is me and my life has been fabulous and favored and no brokenness in this chick. That's the life I wanted to portray. And when you read here, you get, I know the hurt of most women. I know the roles of mother and single mother and working mother. I know the roles of, I know that thought, my life will never get easier. I know betrayal. I know abuse. I know what it's like to hold a sick child. I know what it's like to fight for your life. I know what it's like to lose everything financially. I know what what divorce does to your heart. Whether you wanted it or not, it's like death. I know what it's like to feel alone. I know. And the truth of the matter is that there were so many years I would have hid this from you, because we're almost taught, it's personal. And what I have found through the last 4 years that I have been traveling and speaking is that transparency brings freedom. Transparency allows people to say, I'm not alone, that I'm okay, that He can do what He's done in her life to mine. Please do it. People look at me now, and if you didn't know my past, you would certainly not think I had it. I mean, people look at me all the time. They're like, "What? You were in heart failure? You almost lost your life?" All the things that we've been through. The loneliness, single momhood, and everything. People just don't even look at me and see that because of the redemption that God has done in my life. And the truth is, my blog yesterday, pain has purpose. And if you never get to a place where you truly need Him, that's why they say those who have been forgiven much will love much, because you will never know the power of the Redeemer if you don't need redemption. You will never know the power of healing if you never have to meet the healer. And I'm not saying you need to go out and get sick, but the ones of us that have been broken, whether we've fought for our health or the health of our children, or we've felt broken financially, or for whatever reason brokenhearted, and needed Him and sought Him instead of the world, and seen His hand of redemption on our lives, we are the ones that will love much. We're the Fruit Loops, because we've seen Him. We've seen the forgiveness. We've seen the grace. We've seen the redemption. So we just have to rewire ourselves to say, let's stop hiding pain. Let's stop masking it. Let's stop stuffing it. And let's get to a place where we offer it up for healing. And I think one of the best ways to heal is to share your story. I really do. When you see that your pain could bring purpose to another person's life, it heals. It heals. It heals. Because you realize maybe this pain wasn't all about me after all, was it? You see, I wanted to be a speaker. I wanted to be a motivational speaker. And the lady told me in 1996, you're too perfect. Your life isn't messed up. You couldn't lead women out of a pit. You wouldn't even know what a pit looked like. And I was upset with her, and she devastated me. And for 13 years, I never thought once about speaking. And then my brokenness brought me back to the thing that I was destined to. And I get her. And I'm not saying for those of you who want to speak that have had a good life that you can't reach women. Yes, you can reach women. You can teach them the word. But what I'm saying is that don't let your brokenness define you or hide you or leave you lost in a story, because I have seen restoration, redemption, restitution. I have seen beauty from ashes. I have seen a life so changed that I would never go back to that perfectionist that I once was. I love that I have this heart for other people. I love that He's given me a heart for the broken, that I want to be a part of something for the kingdom, that it is not all about me, that it is all about Him. I mean, I feared what I would lose when I made this transition, having no idea everything that I would gain. So I want you to approach this journey with an open heart and with an open mind, and I want you to engage with me and be honest, and I'm going to communicate with you the best that I can, and then hopefully it's a great ride. But I love you. Thank you just for blessing my ministry when you've purchased books. Sweet Teas, you gave me pearls, whatever you've purchased, and it just blesses my little heart. I just can't thank you enough that I've been able to do what I do, to raise up my children in a home and to be seeking the Lord and to be leading other women to Jesus, and I just thank you. And for those of you that are wondering, we are living with my parents for the month of August, because I know I mentioned we needed a house, but we got a tremendous blessing, and the favor of the Lord is upon us. And right toward the end, a woman called and said, would you please come to our home? Please rent our home. Some of you that don't know, we've been tied up in a lawsuit with our home for 5 years now, and it is almost over. We got great news this week. It is almost over, and so we've been renting and moving and renting, and it has been a nightmare. But a woman, we've had a youth revival going on in our yard, and so the new home will have a yard 3 times the size of the old yard, and it's in a wonderful location, and it's a beautiful home. It's an historical landmark that is so perfectly Sweet Tea. It is so of God, and it's just a blessing, and that's how He is. The favor of God is upon those that love Him. And so we are grateful, and we're using this time to get ready, and in September we'll be in our new home. So thank you for praying for us. I know that many of you have been wondering, and you've sent me messages, and so thank you. I love you from the bottom of my heart. You have no idea. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.